She will come back, but not because you begged, not because you waited, not because you proved your worth through words. She'll come back when you finally stop trying to. When you do this one thing right, her mind will spiral, her ego will soften, and the silence will start speaking louder than any "I miss you" ever could. Because the truth is, women don't come back to love. They come back to energy. And the moment your energy shifts from needing her to mastering yourself, everything changes. 1. Stop explaining your worth. Every man, after losing a woman, makes the same mistake. He tries to explain. He thinks if he just says the right words, shows her how much he cared, maybe she'll understand. You write long messages, pour your heart out, hoping she'll finally see your value. But that's not how attraction works. See, women don't reconnect through logic. They connect through emotion. And when she's emotionally gone, your words, no matter how deep, don't touch her. They bounce off like noise. You can't convince her to feel something she no longer feels. That's not strength. That's desperation dressed as hope. The more you try to explain your worth, the more it looks like you don't believe in it yourself. Because real value doesn't argue. It just is. When you argue for your worth, you unknowingly lower it. You tell her, "I need you to agree with me to feel okay." And that's exactly what kills attraction. She doesn't want to understand you right now. She wants to feel your absence. She needs to sense what life is like when your voice, your presence, your energy are no longer there. So stop explaining. Stop typing that message. Don't send that "I just want closure" text, because closure isn't found in her words. It's found in your silence. The best thing you can do right now is say nothing. Let the silence speak for you. Let your calm become louder than your confusion. When you stop explaining, something changes in her mind. She expected you to chase, to explain, to fight. When you don't, it throws her off balance. She starts wondering, did I really mean that much to him? Has he already moved on? That's when curiosity begins. And curiosity is what pulls her back faster than any message ever could. So remember this. You don't prove your worth through words. You show it through restraint, through peace, through quiet confidence. When you stop defending your value, she starts to feel it again. That's the paradox. You stop trying to be understood, and suddenly she starts listening. Real power doesn't chase understanding. It stands still and lets others recognize it on their own. And when that recognition hits, it doesn't come from your explanation. It comes from your silence. 2. Withdraw your energy completely. Here's what most men don't realize. She doesn't miss you when you're gone. She misses the attention that came with you. It's not your words, your jokes, or even your presence that she craves at first. It's your energy. That steady stream of emotional access she got so used to having. The late night replies, the good morning texts, the concern you showed when she pulled away. That energy was feeding something inside her. And when you suddenly take that away, her world shifts. It feels empty, because whether she admits it or not, she built small habits around your attention, checking if you saw her story, wondering why you didn't react to her post, thinking why your name hasn't popped up in her notifications. But here's the trick. You can't withdraw your energy halfway. You can't say you're done and still check her profile every night. You can't pretend to be detached but keep replying instantly when she tests the waters. If you're going to reclaim your power, you have to disappear completely, not in anger, but in silence. This isn't about ghosting her. It's about redirecting your energy back into yourself. The time you spent waiting for her texts, use it to build yourself. The energy you use to chase her moods, use it to build discipline. When you stop feeding her with attention, that emotional void begins to echo. That silence will start haunting her because she expected your weakness. She expected you to fall apart without her. When that doesn't happen, her mind can't sit still. She'll start wondering if she really mattered as much as she thought. That's when curiosity transforms into regret. Don't watch her stories. Don't respond to crumbs. Don't even acknowledge the bait. Not because you're bitter, but because your peace is worth more than her temporary attention. She left, so let her feel what she left behind. Let her realize that silence from a strong man is louder than any "I miss you" text. When you pull your energy back fully, not halfway but completely, she'll start to feel the difference. Because true absence isn't distance, it's emptiness. And once she feels it, she'll crave to fill that space again. That's when she'll start thinking about you in ways she never did before. Your silence is not punishment, it's power. Use it. 3. Don't fake calm, become. Its stillness is not pretending you're fine, it's being fine, truly fine, even if she never returns. At first, you'll want to fake it. You'll act calm, post stories, pretend like you've moved on, but inside you'll still be hoping she's watching. That's not stillness, that's performance. And women can feel the difference. See, when your energy is unsettled, she knows. Or when your peace is forced, she senses it. You don't have to tell her, she'll just feel it in your silence, your words, your eyes. Real calm can't be faked, it has to be built. How? By acceptance. You stop running from what happened. You stop arguing with reality. You let the loss hurt, and then you let it go. That's the hardest part, to let it hurt without reacting, because calmness doesn't mean not feeling. It means not being controlled by what you feel. When you reach that level of emotional maturity, something interesting happens. You become unpredictable. You stop reacting to her breadcrumbs. You stop explaining yourself. You stop trying to control the narrative. That unpredictability is what shakes her confidence, because she expected chaos from you, not peace. Stillness is a psychological trigger. The female mind is drawn to contrast, to mystery. She won't obsess over the man who always reacts. She obsesses over the one who doesn't, the one she can't read, the one who responds with quiet strength instead of emotional panic. Don't mistake calmness for indifference. You can still love her, still wish her well, but you no longer seek her validation. That's what separates men who heal from men who perform. The healed man doesn't need to post how fine he is. His peace speaks for itself. When she tests you, and she will, with random messages, emotional bait, or subtle flirts, don't take the hook. She's not checking if you care. She's checking if she still controls you. The more you stay grounded, the more her illusion of power fades. And eventually she'll start to feel something she hasn't in a while. Respect. That's what calmness earns. And respect, not love, is what brings a woman back. So stop acting calm. Become calm. Because when your peace is real, she can't ignore it. And once she can't ignore it, she can't forget it either. 4. Focus on evolution, not reunion. Most men focus on the wrong goal. They want the reunion. They want her back. They want the story to end how it started, with her choosing them again. But that obsession keeps you stuck in the same emotional loop that pushed her away in the first place. You can't attract someone back by being the same man she left. You have to outgrow him. That's the real move. Start by asking yourself, who was I before I lost myself in her? Because somewhere along the line, you stopped leading your life. You started orbiting around hers. You stopped training, stopped reading, stopped growing. You became predictable, comfortable, emotionally dependent. The version she eventually stopped desiring. So you don't rebuild for her. You rebuild for you. You sharpen your body, your focus, your mind. You fix your sleep, your routine, your habits. You rediscover the mission you forgot about when she became your whole world. And slowly, without realizing, you become a different man. And here's the twist. She will notice. Not because you post about it, but because your energy changes. Women are drawn to progress, especially when it happens in silence. When she sees you glow differently, when your tone feels lighter, when your eyes don't carry the same neediness, that's when her mind begins to shift. Growth creates emotional contrast. She starts to question her own decision. She starts wondering, was I wrong about him? Did I underestimate him? That's the power of evolution. You're no longer trying to get her back. You're becoming the kind of man she's drawn back to naturally. But you can't fake this. You can't go to the gym just to post stories hoping she'll see. You can't pretend to grow to prove a point. That's still validation seeking disguised as healing. True evolution happens when you no longer care if she notices. You just do it because your soul needed to level up. And that's the paradox. When you genuinely stop trying to get her back, that's when she starts feeling the pull. Don't chase reunion, chase transformation. Because when she finally comes back, it shouldn't be to the same man she left. It should be to a man who doesn't even need her return. 5. Let time speak for you. Time is the quietest teacher. It doesn't argue, it doesn't rush, it just reveals truth slowly. When she leaves, your first instinct will be to fix it fast, to reach out before she forgets. But that's fear talking. You think silence will make her move on, but silence is the only thing that actually makes her think. When you go quiet, at first she'll feel relief. She'll tell herself she did the right thing, that you finally stopped trying, but give it time. Slowly, That calm turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into confusion. Confusion turns into emotional discomfort. That's how the shift begins. She starts replaying moments, rereading old messages, wondering why you haven't reached out. Not because she misses you right away, but because she expected you to still be there, and when you're not, it bothers her. But here's where most men fail. They break silence too early. They send that "how have you been" text just when her curiosity was about to peak. And by doing that, they reset the entire process. Time is like gravity. The longer you let it pull, the stronger it gets. Every day of silence builds contrast. Every week adds weight to your absence. You're not ignoring her. You're giving her space to realize what life feels like without your presence. And something deep inside her will start to shift. She won't admit it, but that distance, that quietness will start to eat at her, because women process loss differently. It doesn't hit them right away. It creeps up slowly when you're no longer there to fill the silence. So don't fight time. Use it. Let her wonder. Let her feel the consequences of her choice without you interrupting the process. Don't send messages. Don't ask mutual friends how she's doing. Just stay still. Because silence plus time on reflection, and reflection always leads to realization. If she's meant to come back, time will bring her, not your words, not your begging, but the emptiness that time magnifies. That's when she'll remember not how much you said, but how much peace you carried. 6, make her cross the distance. Here's the harsh truth. She created the gap. Let her be the one to cross it. Every time she pulled away, you ran to close the space. You sent the message. You apologized for things you didn't even do. You tried to fix it because the silence scared you. But that's exactly what made her lose respect. She never got to feel the weight of losing you because you never allowed the distance to breathe. Next time, hold your ground. Don't fill the space with explanations. Don't try to close it with reassurance. Let the gap stretch. Let it echo. Because that's where the shift happens. When the man who always chased suddenly stops, her emotional pattern gets interrupted, her ego gets confused. Wait, he's not fighting for me anymore? That uncertainty messes with her sense of control. You see, women don't appreciate what's always available. They value what's scarce. When you become scarce, you become valuable again. And that value isn't something you say, it's something she feels. This doesn't mean you become cold or hateful. You just stop doing the emotional heavy lifting. You stop texting first. You stop reacting to crumbs. You stop waiting for her to close the gap you didn't create. Because when she finally feels that emotional distance, she'll start to question herself. She'll wonder if you've really moved on. That's when her pride starts breaking. That's when her curiosity turns into chase. You don't win her back by running across the bridge. You win by standing at your end, calm, grounded, unbothered, and letting her walk toward you. Make her earn your energy again, not because you're playing games, but because you've learned your worth. When she finally crosses that distance, she won't come back out of guilt. She'll come back out of realization that the man who stopped chasing her is the man she never stopped thinking about. 7, the return is inevitable, but it's not the goal. If you've done everything right, the silence, the stillness, the growth, she'll return. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but she will. Because energy like yours doesn't fade, it lingers, it haunts. But when that day comes, the real question isn't will she come back, it's will you still want her? Because you'll be different now. The same man who once begged will now move with quiet confidence. The same man who once chased will now choose. That's the evolution she won't expect. She'll test the waters with small talk. She'll act casual. She'll try to see if the door is still open. And when she does, don't rush to let her in. Let her see the new version of you, the one who doesn't need her validation, the one who built peace so powerful that even her presence can't shake it. When she senses that, she'll feel something deeper than attraction. She'll feel respect. That's what women truly come back for. Not comfort, not familiarity, respect. You don't gloat. You don't remind her of what she lost. You simply stand in that peace you built, because the man who's at peace is the man who's already won. And that's the paradox. When you no longer need her return, that's exactly when she comes back. But when she does, don't be the same man she left. Don't shrink to make her stay. Don't reopen old wounds for new memories. Let her meet the version of you that no longer depends on her love to feel complete. because the real goal was never her comeback. It was your comeback, to yourself. When she sees that, she'll realize something brutal but beautiful. She didn't leave you. She just helped awaken the man she could never handle. That's the real win, not her return, but your rebirth. You don't need her validation to feel worthy. You don't need her text to feel alive. And you don't need her presence to find peace. Because when you finally stop chasing love, you attract it. Not because you begged or explained or proved, but because you learned that silence, when used right, speaks louder than any word ever could. So let her come back if she will. But let it be on your terms, not from your pain. The goal was never to make her miss you. It was to remember yourself. And when you do, when you finally become that quiet, unshakable version of yourself, you'll see it clearly. You didn't lose her. You lost the version of you that needed her. And that is your rebirth. If this hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear this right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more right here on Brainify On, where psychology meets peace and silence becomes your power.